Now to the state of emergency in California, where the governor is asking the White House for help after the largest earthquake in Southern California in 20 years. Meanwhile, people on the ground there bracing for more aftershocks and the possibility of an even larger quake. ABC's Marcus Moore right there in Ridgecrest. Marcus, good morning to you.
Dan, good morning. It seemed to be a quieter night in terms of the aftershocks that you could actually feel, but there were some strong jolts overnight as residents here begin to recover. And as you can see behind me, some have to start all over.
California on edge overnight as residents try to recover from back-to-back violent earthquakes.
Get under the table, get under the table. Oh my God.
While still bracing for aftershocks.
I was screaming for my husband. It was pretty scary with all the water coming out.
The shaking so severe, watch this woman struggle to get up.
I used to see this in the movies, you know, people falling down. I think, oh, this is corny. It's real.
Iran will begin enriching uranium to higher levels in the next few hours and also pass limits set under the 2015 nuclear deal by Monday morning. The announcement was made by the deputy foreign minister at a news conference in Tehran in the past hour. Iran says it will be a further scaling down of commitments to the deal every 60 days, but it's still open to talks with European nations to try to save the deal.
We are going to announce that we are not committed to the level of the enrichment. Today, a letter was sent to Ms. Mogherini in which we have clearly mentioned the articles, the lines of the deal that we are not going to be committed to any longer. And again, we are going to give another 60 days time. And I would like to also explain that the process for decreasing the commitment of Iran is actually in order to protect the nuclear deal.
The Trump administration has been labelled inept, insecure and incompetent in leaked emails from the British ambassador to Washington. The memos from Kim Darroch were obtained by a British newspaper, the Mail, on Sunday. But despite the alleged incompetence, the ambassador says that Mr. Trump should not be written off. Well, let's get more details from our correspondent, Andy Moore, who is outside the British Foreign Office. So, Andy, there's no real getting around this. This is extremely embarrassing.
That's right, and it could test the special relationship between the UK and the USA. So it's very unusual to get a huge tranche of documents like this, secret diplomatic cables, to be put in the public domain. They date from 2017 to the present day, and most of them are pretty unflattering about President Trump. The ambassador, Sir Kim Darroch, says that the administration is unlikely ever to become competent. He says most of those reports about vicious infighting, they're probably true.
Now, police are investigating 11 murders in Cape Town since Friday, and this after a number of bodies were found in Philippi and Hanover Park. 2 of the victims were men and the rest were women. Western Cape Community Safety MEC Albert Fritz joins us on the line now. Thank you so much, Albert, for your time. Now, please just clarify the circumstances surrounding the murders.
Yes, the police are investigating exactly what happened. And so we are awaiting the kind of outcome of those investigations. But, you know, just on Friday alone, 6 women, only women, were murdered in Philippines, and a young man and a young woman, 18-year-old woman, in Hanover Park. Then there's unconfirmed of a further 5 people on the weekend, on Saturday, being murdered again, 1 male and 4 females in Philippines. It's absolute carnage in the Western Cape.
Back now with the urgent manhunt for a road rage suspect in Houston, opening fire on a family on the 4th of July, setting off fireworks inside of their vehicle. That suspect still on the run, and tonight police are searching for the car he took off in. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche.
Tonight, the manhunt is intensifying after this explosive road rage confrontation. Authorities are looking for this white SUV seen on surveillance video leaving the scene. On July 4th in Galveston, 2 drivers got into an argument near a fireworks stand. The driver of that white SUV allegedly firing on a family of 4. That car, loaded with fireworks, erupted into a ball of flames. Witnesses watched in horror. 2 parents and 2 toddlers trapped in that burning car. Jason Butler ran to help.
When I ran up to the car, the lady handed me her baby. And I asked her, I was like, is anybody else in the car? Because all I could see was baby seats.
Police say the shooter followed the family's car into this gas station after the family tried to flee.
Today, Starbucks executives will meet with the Tempe police chief in Arizona. They're hoping to make amends after a barista asked 6 Tempe police officers, to leave a Starbucks store on July 4th because they made one customer feel unsafe.
Here to discuss the situation, president of the Tempe Officers Association, Rob Ferraro. Rob, thanks for joining us today. Good morning to you. So Starbucks has since apologized for this behavior. The Tempe Police Association has said they don't blame Starbucks corporate for this incident. But speaking to the larger issue of the fact that these police officers were deemed to make someone feel unsafe in the beginning, what's going on here with law enforcement in this country and how they're viewed?
It's definitely an unfortunate incident that occurred at the Starbucks, and you're correct that Starbucks has apologized and they're on their way to Arizona to meet with our police chief. So that's a good thing, and we appreciate that.
Pupils at a UK secondary school have started a petition after they were banned from wearing skirts in a bid to promote gender neutrality. Under the new rule, all students at Appleton Academy in Bradford will have to wear trousers from September. Well, hundreds have signed a petition against the ban, although the school insists that most parents and pupils have responded positively.
There are a number of reasons for this change. It is gender neutral, in line with the policy in the majority of secondary schools. It simplifies the uniform, and it removes the issue of pupils wearing skirts that are an inappropriate length. The majority of parents have responded with positive feedback and are supportive of the change and understand the reasons for it.
Finally tonight, a big day for baby Archie and a private look inside the royal family's joyful day. Here's ABC's Jennifer Eccleston.
Harry and Meghan taking a cue from their little niece, blocking the press from baby Archie's christening today at Windsor Castle, releasing 2 images to their nearly 9 million Instagram followers, but keeping the intimate details, including the names of the godparents, private. Christenings are traditionally big photo ops for the royal family. Look at the crowds that came out to see Princess Charlotte's.
Unlike his Cambridge cousins, who are destined for roles on the world stage, Archie is not expected to actually grow up to be a working royal. Although his parents are, it's not expected that he will be.
But the Sussexes coming under fire for the secrecy, as they're facing mounting criticism from the British public for a more than $3 million renovation bill for their home on the castle grounds.
Thirsty and exhausted, but safe. They survived the dangerous journey across the Mediterranean from North Africa after the Italian charity Mediterranea rescued them from their stranded dinghy. But arriving on the island of Lampedusa, they were surrounded by police and ordered not to disembark. The charity says they're lucky to be alive.
If there's no one in that sea, they die. Such a small dinghy does not even get spotted by the radar. They were lucky they were able to warn us shortly before we had met a rubber dinghy in the water and the rest of a shipwreck.
The Italian-flagged rescue boat, the Alex, had run out of drinking water and was carrying 3 times as many people as it should. When the boat's crew were denied permission to dock by the Italian government, Malta offered to take the vessel, but the crew declared a state of emergency.
More than 16,000 people were evacuated from an area of Frankfurt on Sunday while experts began to defuse a 500-kilogram World War II bomb. The site near the European Central Bank was cleared of all people to allow the process to begin, taking visitors by surprise. Bomb disposal professionals used specialist equipment to deactivate at least one of the two detonators. Trains and cars were diverted and Frankfurt Zoo remained closed for the day. The American bomb was found during construction work last month, but officials chose Sunday to defuse it in order to minimize disruption.